Alright, what is up, YouTube? It is another beautiful day. I just finished up my personal study. I'm going to go through that with you guys really quick. And then I've got a couple other things I want to talk about. Especially with the video I posted yesterday and how that video ended. But my scripture reading today was Matthew chapter 9, verse 10. In chapter 9, I wrote down, Jesus travels and performs many miracles to help people and to show he is the Son of God. Many of the people he helped went to him asking in faith for healing. I gotta slow down a little bit. I think it shows that you have to take action in order to reap the blessings. And I think that's just very true. Almost every single one in chapter 9, except for the people that were like laying down and couldn't move, everybody that was afflicted went to Jesus in faith and asked for healing. And because they took action, they were able to be healed. And that's something I think we got to remember for our own goals, our own lives, and even our own religious journeys. Nothing happens just because we want it. We have to actually take action to move towards those goals. And then for study this morning, I did something a little different. Since I'm struggling with my weight, there's a Chinese proverb that says, if you want to know the road ahead, ask those that have been. And so today I watched a YouTube video from Peach Fit. And I like Peach Fit because he lost 130 pounds over a year. And he's been on the journey, and he gives great advice. I love his YouTube channel. But there's another guy named Ethan Bernard. You can look him up on Instagram. He's all over social media. He decided a couple years ago to lose weight, and he was 660 pounds. And he lost about 200 pounds, and then he's been up and down on the boards. And he's put his whole journey out on social media in the form of short-form content. He's even met with lots of people. Jocko Willink has interviewed him. He's been on several podcasts talking about his struggle with weight. But he just couldn't get under. After he lost 200 pounds, he plateaued, and then he'd go back up and go back down and then back up. Sound familiar to somebody? Now, I wasn't 660 pounds, but I feel almost identical to him in the weight loss journey. And so he ended up moving out and to California. He's from Michigan, to be trained by Jacob, who is the guy that lost 130 pounds, and his brand is Peach Fit. And today they've been doing videos of talking about the workouts and talking about his weigh-ins and things like that. But this time they did like a whole episode about the mental state that he's gone through and more of an in-depth story of his journey. And I watched that because I know business. I know how to do sales. Even when I was broke, I'm constantly studying sales and listening to sales books. But like I've said, I've struggled with the weight my whole life. And so I watched that, and this is my takeaway from it that I wrote down. I said I watched this because I feel like Ethan. Oh, sorry. I paused right there. I watched this because I feel like Ethan struggles with his weight the same way I do. One thing his coach, Jacob from Peach Fit, said that I need to apply more is it does not matter how you are feeling. What matters is what you are actually doing, and the scale reflects that. And so that's what I wrote down today. I need to really remember it's what I'm currently doing, and then when I do binge, like yesterday, not letting that derail me. I almost let that happen again this morning until my alarm went off, and then I still got up, went and took a cold shower, and back to making it happen instead of letting it go over 3 or 4 days. But I need to take the emotion out of it. Today I'm actually going to be writing down what I think happened yesterday, why I went so off rails, because I did so great the first half of the day and then so bad the second half. Learn from it, move on, and just keep executing. And the scale and the business results will reflect that. For gratitudes, because she's my number one gratitude on the planet, I did Jenna. I wrote down my parents. This one was a tough one. I almost don't believe it, but I'm trying to get myself to believe it. But I put my body. When you're fat, you have a bad relationship with your body. You hate it. You look in the mirror, and I used to not see man boobs and a belly. I used to see a face. How many people can relate to that? That when they looked in a mirror, they see like a giant face in their like body. And so that's something I'm working on. But I really want to take the time to start being more grateful for my body. I put my ability to choose what I do today. And then access to knowledge. Just like I really needed to hear that video this morning. There's so much good information that back in the day you could only get it if you knew somebody or knew the library to go to, or you'd have to pay tons of money for it. And now information's out there. One quote I really love from a guy named Jeffrey Mendez. He was vice president of Vivint Smart Home for a while. He told me once in a manager's meeting, he said, there's that famous quote, knowledge is power. And he says, I don't actually agree with that. He says the application of knowledge is power. And I agree with that personally. It's not just enough to know things. It's what you do with the knowledge you know. And so that's why I put access to knowledge, because if we want something nowadays, especially with AI, which wasn't around when I was starting in business, but we can still get all of that information and, go to the school of YouTube. And then for my affirmations, I decided is what I'm calling them. And the first one I put in all caps, but I put, today I'm disciplined, because I really struggled on that yesterday. Today I'm hardworking. Today I'm happy. Nick and I have a meeting with Rotello here in about 15 minutes. So I put, today I'm decisive. I need to make some decisions. Today I'm accomplished. Today I'm a sales expert. Today I'm a future athlete. Today I'm a great recruiter. Today I'm loving. And today I will be consistent. Is what I wrote down. And then once again, because this is my life plan and I write it down every morning, I put, I want to inspire 1 million people to take actions towards their dreams and leave the world a happier and better place. I will achieve this by destroying my biggest demon of my weight and poor health, while building Nick and I's company, Smart Living, into a national brand. I will document every step of the journey to show that you can come from nothing and still accomplish your dreams. Just like how I want to travel the world by boat, having wonderful experiences, seeing different cultures, spending time with loved ones, and maxing out my life. And so that's what I wrote down in my personal study today. But something I want to talk about, and it's just on page 1, but a couple years ago, 5 years ago, now that I'm looking at the date, I went to a Hilo North America distributor meeting, and they handed out this book for us to fill out. And some of this, even though this is all about Hilo and business, I think goes right into weight loss, and since it applies to business, so I'm going to go it. But on page 1, it says, why people miss their goals. It says, this is why. By leaning on life's easy excuses. People don't want to work. It doesn't work in my area. I can't get any demons. I can't get any demonstrations. I can't get my customers financed. I have so much to do and no help. I have no money. No people to work with me. Holidays are coming up, and in primarily a door-to-door, although that is changing, weather. I always say, newbies, especially when they're starting, there's never the perfect weather to go out. In January and in winter, it is way too cold, people will tell me. I can't go door-to-door, it's freezing outside. In summer, it's way too hot out there. I'm gonna die out there. In fall, it's way too windy and rainy out here. And holidays, and then in springtime, it's just so chilly with the wind, and the rain. Those two kind of go together, but it's never those. The ones that succeed are the ones that just go out and do it. And it says, the real problem is you. Ask yourself, what are your daily routines? Is it designed to make you successful or hopeful? Are you setting goals and going after them, or are you just dreaming and talking without any action? Which goes into what I wrote down for my scripture study today. What time do you wake up in the mornings? Do you recruit weekly? Do you go in the field? Do you run your meetings? Is your pay program achievable? And do you lead your people, or are you just hanging out with them? And then one note I wrote down on the side is I put, success depends on your ability to lead. And then they put as a note down here at the bottom, it says, remember, we all know what to do and how to do it. The problem is us and laziness. Don't confuse busyness with business. And I think they've got some excellent points there. I'm gonna be kind of rough for just a second, but as far as busyness, I feel like I've been pretty busy this week. But when it comes to actually moving the needle on business, my goal was interviews and to fill up orientation for next Monday, and I'm sitting at 4 interviews. It's taken roughly about 45 calls to set those 4 interviews. Today's Thursday. Break that down over 3 days. That's 15 calls a day. When I'm running phone room, I'm expecting them to making between 4. Sorry. When I am running phone room, I am expecting them to make between 40 and 45 calls an hour. So what I am expecting people to do in 1 hour is what I've basically achieved over the week. Now, I've been super busy with like checking out the Rotello, working on the weight loss and things like that. But as far as stats that I can say, hey, look, this is what I got done, it's been pretty pathetic. And so today, we're fixing that. We are working on recruiting. We're going to bust our ass on it. I do have a meeting with Rotello this morning, so the gym is going to be tonight. I think I might actually switch the gym to evening time. Since I failed yesterday and I burn out, I've noticed a lot more because of my health mid-afternoon and evening time. I'm just not very productive work-wise in the afternoons. And then the gym wears me out, and so I'm less productive. So I think what I'm going to start doing, even though I like going to the gym in the morning, is really focusing on, the business aspect while I have the most energy before I get tired. And I need brain power because I don't need brain power to go work out. I can just go and push through being tired with weights while listening to music. And that's more of a choice, it feels like, to go and grind through. As in with like business, one of the things about sales and business is a big part of it is the transfer of energy. And if I don't have energy, I'm not performing at my best in business. So I still have to make both of those happen every day. But I think the solution is I need to work out either in the evenings or late afternoonish. And while I have the most energy, focus on, recruiting in the business aspect. But let's see how today goes. I'm bringing you on every step of the journey. I've got the meeting with Rotello, so I will let you guys know here in a second. I never get enough blood out in one poke, so I always poke myself twice. But let's see what it is. That's going to be backwards, huh? 165. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Quick breakfast of champions right before a meeting. This isn't my actual breakfast. I will go and make some eggs with some ham in it after. But just because I got the meeting right now, I'm going to scarf down this banana, and we're having a V8 energy. So, anyway, yeah, that's my quick breakfast.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Awesome.
What's cooking?
Not much. Waiting for Nick.
Yeah?
So far, dude, the Rotello kind of shocked me. It blew me out of the water. Oh, there he is.
What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up?
Can you hear me? We can hear you. All right. Good morning, why did it shock you, my friend?
Dude.
I'm failing at all communications, phones, laptops, everything, man. Usually this doesn't work, so I have to get on Mark's phone call. Whatever works for you. Yeah, that would work too. All right. Dude, you got Magic, Julius, Larry Bird. Are those signed? Those are all signed. That's sick. How long you had those for? Oh, forever. That's how I got my education, was playing college ball. Okay. Did you get those signed first? You went down and you personally got those signed, or you bought them? I got them through auction houses. Oh, cool. Very cool. You see? All right. So, Mark, I'm sorry.
No.
What is it that shocked you?
You're good.
What is it that surprised you?
The power of the Rotello. It blew the Hyla out of the water. I did a side-by-side comparison. I mean, my poor mother couldn't even pull it back on speed 4. And I loved that you could just turn the speed down so she could still use it. I think
or just adjust the nozzle.
Yeah, we loved it.
We were talking about that the other day when it's because of the power. When it's hard for somebody that's older, just adjust it to a higher level.
Yep.
Just make sure that when you use that adjustment, you're not using your foot. That's not a foot pedal.
Okay.
It's a hand pedal to do it by hand, holding it up and doing it. So it's like when you go against a Kirby, right? The pedal's in the back.
Yeah.
Right? Because as you're pushing on the back, it's going to adjust the front. But our pedal's on top of the unit. So if you're pushing down on that pedal, trying to get it to come up, you're kind of fighting yourself, right? You're pushing it down, expecting it to come up.
I kind of learned that.
Yep, so just use your hand and pop that sucker up, pop the bucket back down, and you're good to go. And yeah, I was telling you the other day, that's one of the things that is another benefit going against the house that has that occasional shag carpet, right? The Highland nozzle is going to bog down. The Rainbow nozzle is going to bog down. The Robo nozzle is going to bog down. Just adjust us, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Right? As far as the actual power itself, Highland's still moving about 100. We're at 110 CFM, so more power there. Did you notice the difference on our low versus your Highland's low speed?
Yeah, I mean, and just the ease of use. I mean, with the Hyla, you have to have their remote, and you got to remember it's those 4 button pushes. As in this, you just go and you hit the button. I think it looks better for a customer. It came with more attachments. We love that dry cleaning bag. We put it through some tests yesterday. Like, I was just honestly a little blown away. I do think the separator in the Hyla is built a little bit better, but compared to everything else, I got to give it to Rotello. I will say ease of use for like dumping and stuff is definitely easier on a Hyla. But really, what would you rather have, cleaning power or the ability to dump what you got? I mean, it chewed through dog hair like nothing. Now, unfortunately, we start going into some stuff from this point on that I don't have permission to share. Because of the volume Nick and I used to sell, they are going to be giving us a little bit better of a deal. Once we've signed paperwork and stuff, I can share that, but this was purely them trying to recruit us call, and we go into tons of things that, unfortunately, I just can't share quite yet or post in my YouTube video, but I thought I'd give you a little taste of what the meeting was like. All right, now that the meeting's over, we're going to make some healthy breakfast. We are going to have, it's pretty much a staple for me, we're going to have some eggs. So, going to make those real quick. Ooh la la, egg. Turn that camera just a little more. 2. Do I want 3 or 4? I'm just going to go 3. I'm not that hungry. Plus, I had way too much food last night. So, there's my 3 eggs. Now, I throw this on for some flavor. Throw this in. Just honey ham. I usually do 2 to 3 slices. It says a serving is 4 for 60 calories and 8 grams of protein. So this doesn't add in much more protein, but 4 grams of protein in these 2 slices is 4 grams of protein. People always ask me how to get your scrambled eggs a little bit more fluffy. Just throw in a pinch of milk. Alright, tell me if this does not look delicious. Oh, let's dump that ham back in there. And does that not look just absolutely beautiful? I'm so excited to eat this. Alright, so eggs are nice and ready. Look and smell delicious. And of course I spill because that's just who I am. So there is my beautiful eggs. Last thing I do is I like to put some cheese on them. So we're going to grab a handful of cheese. I have small hands, so it's not that much. And put some cheese, just enough to cover the top. So here is the finished product on my eggs. I'm also drinking black coffee, and I mix this sugar-free French vanilla creamer into it. This is pretty much what I have for breakfast every morning. You already watched me eat the banana. And then I usually have a whole wheat English muffin with it. And then obviously I take a bunch of metformin every day. So I have to take 2 of these with breakfast and then 2 of these at dinner. So yeah, but we're going to enjoy this breakfast. Alright, so here's what I'm having for lunch today. I am having some chicken tenders. And then I said Sweet Baby Ray's the other day, but it's G. Hughes. This barbecue sauce, it's 0 sugar, only 2 grams of carbs, and only 10 calories a serving. So I put those in this little dipping cup, and then to drink, I'm in love with this stuff right now. It tastes like an orange dreamsicle ice cream, but it's the Shasta California Dreamin', the 0 sugar edition. So this has 0 caffeine, 0 sugars, and only 1 carb in the can. So that's what I'm having for lunch. Oh, I'm so relieved. So I want to take a second and explain a little bit about what's going on with the financing and why I haven't been able to sell. Thankfully, I've been working on it all afternoon, and I think we got it. So after Nick finished with the business bankruptcy and we got through that, I've been taking this year off to lose weight. We know how that's been going. But Nick started selling Hylas out of his house. And before we decided to partner back up and add in different products, he had started his own LLC, Clean Air Iowa LLC. And so I've been added to that. But when we decided to do extra products, we had to do a DBA with the state of Iowa, doing business as Smart Living Iowa. And Nick lost the form for that paper. Nick, he's my homie, one of my best friends, business partner. I trust him completely. We both shine in different areas. Nick is far more of a being out in the field and grinding than I am. Nobody gives a sales meeting like Nick. He's incredible in those areas. When it comes to organization, that's my area. And so that paper's we haven't been able to find. We had to submit it to get a new one, and we've been waiting for the state of Iowa. But after spending all afternoon bouncing around calls with the finance company, we got it figured out. If we just drop the DBA and only sell Hylas right now for the next couple of months until we get that paper figured out, and it shouldn't take a couple months, just I'm going to give it a little longer just in case. But if we drop the DBA and just sell under the actual LLC, Clean Air Iowa, which it's hard to say we're selling water when our name is Clean Air, but if we drop the DBA for right now, then I'm approved and we're good to go. I can start selling. They said within the next couple days, so they're going to be sending me over the paperwork to sign. And then I need to, once I have that approved, I need to go open a separate business account for here in Idaho for the Idaho sales. And as soon as that's done, I can be in the field and I can take you guys with me, show you how we get leads, how we're advertising on Facebook. It just opens a whole can of worms that, well, can of worms is kind of negative. A whole can of, should I say fireworks? I don't know. I'm just freaking excited and happy because that means I can get in the field and sell here in the state of Idaho, which means I can make some money. So I do want to talk a little bit about how Nick and I are paying ourselves. Right now, we're paying ourselves $150 a sale that we get off recruits. Everything else is reinvested back into the business for growth, expansion, that kind of stuff. But on our own personal deals, we've agreed we keep 100% of the revenue on our own personal deals. So if I sell one, I keep all the money I sell it for. And since we don't have an office, we don't have commissions to pay out, that's kind of how we can build some big cash flow to be able to build our company. And so right now, I want to get in the field for a couple of reasons. Is one, I don't have a lot of bills right now. I'm living in my parents' fifth wheel, and it's actually not even a fifth wheel. It's just a really big camper trailer. And our bills are pretty small. So I can start actively attacking some debt so I can move out there debt-free. But also, I can be the one to build up our inventory of machines because I can go make, good money selling, and I don't need it yet, so I can reinvest that into machines and things like that, which we will also be doing with the money from recruits. But right now it's just Nick and I, and honestly, the greatest thing we can be doing, like I said in the other video, is selling ourselves and generating cash flow, saving that money, so that way when we do have these recruits, we have the money to pay out base pays, because we do pay out base pays to people. You don't just earn money from selling Hylas. Now, our base pay isn't actual base pay. It's not you get it no matter what. We do pay based off, it's more of a separate commission pay, but base pay sounds a little better for recruiting. They can earn money for obviously selling a Hyla, but if they run so many demos in a week and turn in so many leads, we pay them commissions on those as well. Matter of fact, when we started, Nick had started Hyla first, but this was his very first sales thing. In fact, his very first sale, he went to the demo and he literally just read the script, and it's still it's still sold. But he was so nervous, no sales ability. In fact, my very first, actually it was my second ride along, I went to go see a demo in a house, and I went and shadowed Nick. And back then, Nick had only been selling for a month or two, so he's only got a month or two on me in the business, but he'd never sold before. And I remember the lady at the end saying she would write a check, and Nick trying to push her into financing because that's what he had been taught. And he didn't know how to close the sale, and we didn't close it. And so I got to help coach him on sales, and he got to help coach me on Hyla. Anyway, I had a point I was going to make. I don't remember it now, but I'm too excited to remember. I am so happy that I can go sell and start making some okay money and reinvest that and start growing the company. You like my sister's headboard right behind me? I'm editing the video right now, and as I'm watching it back, I just remembered the point I was going to make and the whole reason I brought up that story. So when Nick first started, I sold more than him just because I had sales experience, even though I didn't quite know as much about the Hyla. But Nick made a killing because straight up he out-hustled me. Nick would go bring in leads like crazy every single day. And then the way we do it is if somebody else sells your lead, the dealer that sells it gets a commission, just like kind of what I was explaining for base pay. And so Nick made a lot of money by me selling his leads, was the point I was trying to make earlier that I just couldn't remember. So that application and everything should be done by tomorrow night, and I should be able to start getting leads and going into the field come Monday, which that's just super exciting. I'm so stoked. I was able to keep calling a little bit. I did set 2 more interviews. I got through about 30 calls. I think part of why, because these numbers are kind of crazy for recruiting. Usually if I call 5 people, I'm setting an interview. And what? I did about 20 today. It's not an exact. I'm probably around like 18. And then I've done 45. So I'm at like 65, 63 calls this week. And I've set about 7. That's a little low, but I think a big part of it is I'm calling from my Idaho number, and I don't have a Des Moines number. And when somebody calls me about a job from an out-of-state number, unless I knew I applied to an out-of-state number, I don't remember. And one of the big things about Indeed now is their algorithm tries to match you with people, and sometimes it sucks because sometimes you get applications from people that never submitted them to you, and they're still looking for jobs, so that's great. But other times, the AI on Indeed will be like I had this one today, and I won't give his name, but the guy never applied to us. He started an Indeed application 3 months ago, and he lives in Georgia. Like, kind of a waste of my time to call him. I still called because you never know if they had just moved to Des Moines and then that's why they applied. But he didn't even ever remember applying. He's actually found a job since then, but Indeed kind of works that. It's weird. Back when I started the business, I don't want to date myself, but we used Craigslist mostly. How many people still remember using Craigslist to find jobs? In fact, that's how I got recruited into Hyla. Like I said, I had a new neighbor move down the street. He had just opened a new store. tried to recruit me, and then one day I was looking for a sales job, and I ended up calling him, and then that's how I got my number, because I found an ad on Craigslist, and I didn't know it was Hyla. He had already come to the house to talk to me a couple times, but that's how I got my number and kept us talking. And so, anyway, today's been super productive. I'm super happy with it. I do wish I'd said a couple more, but I think I'm gonna start using Google Voice and try to get an Iowa number, and I want to see over tomorrow if that increases the answers and the interview set. If that just builds a little bit more trust. So Nick is currently out in Iowa, so he can do the training and like working with them in the field and teach the demos. I can run all the orientations and like the office training through like Zoom or Google Meet. But that's kind of what we got going on. Now it is like almost 4 o'clock and I have not been to the gym yet. I've been working all day. I said I was going to go tonight, and I am going to stay to that. But Jenna's parents, Jenna's dad sometimes gets tickets to the NASCAR Speedway, the local speedway here in Twin Falls, through work. And he was given a bunch of free tickets, and they called and invited Jenna and I to the speedway tonight. And so we are going to be going to that. That usually runs pretty late. And then because I'm going to that, that means I'm going to have a late night going to the gym tonight. Luckily it is scheduled cardio day. Yesterday I wanted to do cardio day because I didn't want to do abs. But it is cardio day, so it's a shorter gym session. Right now my goal is to go in and do 20 minutes on the exercise bike, 20 minutes on the elliptical, and then I can't do the treadmill right now. I tried doing it. It started aggravating my heel a little bit earlier this week. So just treadmills out, but then I want to do some shadow boxing and then really focus on stretching. I would like to start adding mobility. Like, I don't know. I know how to lift weights, but like my friend Jason does kettlebell stuff on mobility and cardio day. And I know there's other exercises I can do that still increase strength, but help me with flexibility and my cardio. So, shorter gym session tonight, but I probably won't be in the gym till 10 o'clock, which is my bedtime. I'm probably going to get home around 11 and then shower, be in bed 11:30, and then get up tomorrow at 5:30. So tomorrow I'm going to be more tired, but the cool thing is it's almost the weekend, and I can push through one day and then nap on Saturday to catch up. So anyway, I'm so happy because I've been working on getting this financing thing done for the last week, and we're good to go. So anyway, I will post some pictures of the speedway tonight. My sister just called me into the kitchen and she's like, Mark, it's an emergency, I need you. And I walk out and she's like trying to put these on me, and she's like, I was trying to teabag you. She's all laughing over there.
Sounds like a bunch of lawnmowers.
Yeah.
This is my jam.
Alright. Gonna get lots of laps in this weekend. Half of a mile track.
Man, last night was fun. So after the races, Jenna's parents, we went out to ice cream with them, and it was just super cool. We went to Kiwi Loco, which is a froyo place, and I wasn't going to get anything because obviously weight loss, but they ended up having the sugar-free peanut butter yogurt with sugar-free chocolate sauce, and it was incredible. So I was able to enjoy a little bit of ice cream, and then we got home, and it was like almost, I don't know, I think it was like 11, And I got on Xbox, had a little bit of good times with my friends last night, and then I crashed out. So sorry this is being posted late, but we had a blast last night. Let's see how today turns out.